Once upon a time in the palace, a fairy tale begins. The grand halls of Buckingham Palace, with their opulent chandeliers and gilded walls, have witnessed countless stories. But this tale, would capture the hearts of millions around the world. Picture this: England, the late 1970s, a time of change, of cultural shifts and of new beginnings. The streets of London buzzed with life, fashion was bold, and the air was thick with anticipation. A handsome prince, heir to a throne, is searching for a bride. Prince Charles, with his regal demeanor and sense of duty, was under immense pressure to find a suitable match. The world watched his every move, speculating who would be the future queen.
Enter Lady Diana Spencer, a young woman with a shy smile and eyes that could melt glaciers. Diana, with her natural grace and kindness, was unlike anyone the royal family had ever seen. She was not just a pretty face, she had a heart of gold.
It was a classic case of prince meets girl, but with a royal twist, of course. Their paths crossed at a mutual friends gathering. And from that moment, the sparks began to fly. The media quickly picked up on their budding romance, and the world was enchanted. Diana was a breath of fresh air in the sometimes stuffy world of palace protocol. Her genuine warmth and ability to connect with people from all walks of life made her an instant favorite. She brought a sense of modernity and relatability to the royal family. She was fun-loving, approachable, and had a knack for charming everyone she met. Whether she was hugging children or shaking hands with the public, Diana's sincerity shone through. She had an innate ability to make everyone feel special and seen.
Charles, often seen as reserved and serious, seemed captivated by her youthful energy. Diana's vivacity was a stark contrast to Charles's more somber nature, and it was clear that he was drawn to her light. Their first encounters were like something out of a romantic comedy. They shared laughs, exchanged playful banter, and found joy in each other's company. It was a refreshing change for Charles, who had often been burdened by the weight of his royal responsibilities.
He, a seasoned polo player, trying to impress her with his skills. Charles would often invite Diana to his polo matches, hoping to dazzle her with his prowess on the field. It was his way of showing her a glimpse of his world. She, a kindergarten assistant, giggling at his attempts to woo her. Diana, in her modest role as a kindergarten assistant, found Charles's efforts endearing. She would often laugh and tease him, making their interactions all the more delightful. It was a whirlwind courtship, fueled by stolen glances and whispered conversations. Their romance blossomed quickly with secret rendezvous and heartfelt letters. The world watched in awe as their love story unfolded.
Little did they know, their love story would become a global obsession, capturing the imagination of millions. The media frenzy was unprecedented, with every detail of their relationship making headlines. They became the most talked about couple in the world, a tale told and retold for decades to come. Their faces graced magazine covers, and their story was immortalized in countless documentaries and books. They were not just a couple, they were a phenomenon.
But like all good fairy tales, theirs would have its share of twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. The pressures of royal life, the constant media scrutiny, and their personal differences would test their bond in ways they could never have imagined. And a few dragons lurking in the shadows. Behind the smiles and the glamour, there were struggles and heartaches. Their journey was far from perfect, but it was real, and it was theirs. This was just the beginning of a story that would captivate the world for generations to come. A prince's eye and a shy lady's heart, the courtship. It was a story that captivated the world, a tale of royalty and romance that seemed to leap straight out of a fairy tale. The young lady Diana Spencer, with her demure charm and innocent beauty, caught the eye of the heir to the British throne, Prince Charles. Their courtship was a blend of tradition and modernity, a dance of old-world elegance and contemporary love. The world watched with bated breath as Prince Charles and Lady Diana's romance blossomed. Every glance, every gesture was scrutinized by the public and the media alike. The couple's every move was documented, their love story unfolding in the public eye. It was a spectacle that drew millions, a real-life drama that played out on the world stage.
Their dates were a carefully choreographed dance between privacy and public spectacle. They dined at exclusive restaurants, attended high-profile events, and yet they also sought moments of solitude away from the prying eyes of the world. Their relationship was a delicate balance, a tightrope walk between their private desires and public duties. A romantic picnic on the grounds of Balmoral Castle one day, where they could escape the relentless gaze of the cameras and enjoy each other's company in peace. It was in these quiet moments that their bond grew stronger, away from the pomp and circumstance of royal life. A glamorous opera outing in London the next. They were the epitome of grace and elegance, their appearances at such events only adding to the allure of their romance. The world was enchanted by their story, a modern-day fairy tale that seemed too good to be true.
Diana, thrust into the spotlight, navigated the attention with a mix of grace and naivete. She was unaccustomed to the relentless scrutiny, yet she handled it with a poise that belied her young age. The media frenzy was overwhelming, but Diana's natural charm and warmth endeared her to the public. She was, after all, only 19 when Charles proposed. A young woman suddenly thrust into the role of a future queen, she faced immense pressure and expectations. Yet she remained true to herself, her genuine nature shining through despite the challenges. The iconic sapphire engagement ring, now worn by her daughter-in-law Catherine, became a symbol of their love story. It was a ring that captured the world's imagination, a tangible representation of their engagement and the promise of a future together.
But behind the dazzling smiles and fairy tale facade, cracks were already beginning to show. The pressures of royal life, the constant media attention, and their differing personalities began to take a toll. Their relationship, once filled with promise, started to show signs of strain. Charles, at 32, was a man set in his ways with a deep-rooted sense of tradition. He had been groomed for his role as the future king, and his life was governed by duty and protocol. His reserved nature often clashed with Diana's more spontaneous and emotional personality.
Diana, on the other hand, craved warmth, spontaneity, and a love that felt more modern. She wanted a partner who would share her passions and support her in her charitable endeavors. Her vision of love was one of mutual respect and emotional connection, a stark contrast to the traditional expectations placed upon her, and a love that felt more modern. Their courtship, while magical in many ways, was also a harbinger of the challenges they would face. It was a story of love and duty, of tradition and change, a poignant reminder that even fairy tales have their complexities. On July 29, 1981, the world held its breath as Lady Diana Spencer walked down the aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral to become Princess of Wales. The anticipation was palpable, with millions of eyes glued to their television screens, eager to witness this historic moment. The grandeur of the cathedral, with its towering arches and intricate designs, added to the sense of occasion. It was a day that promised to be etched in the annals of history. It was a wedding for the ages, a spectacle of pomp, ceremony, and sheer fairy tale magic. The streets of London were lined with well-wishers, waving flags and cheering as the royal procession made its way to the cathedral. The air was filled with a sense of joy and celebration, as people from all walks of life came together to be part of this momentous occasion.
Millions tuned in to witness the event, captivated by the sight of Diana in her iconic ivory gown designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel. The dress, with its 25-foot train and intricate lace details, was a masterpiece of craftsmanship. It symbolized not just a union of two people, but a merging of tradition and modernity, a new chapter in the royal family's history. Its train trailing behind her like a cloud, the gown seemed to float as Diana made her way down the aisle. The delicate lace and silk taffeta shimmered under the cathedral's lights, creating an ethereal effect that left everyone in awe. It was a dress fit for a princess, capturing the imagination of millions around the world.
The image of the young couple exchanging vows before God and the world became an instant classic. Their voices, filled with emotion, echoed through the grand halls of the cathedral, sealing their commitment to each other. It was a moment of pure romance, a promise of love and devotion that resonated with everyone watching.
For a moment, it seemed like the fairy tale was complete. The newlyweds, beaming with happiness, waved to the adoring crowds from the balcony of Buckingham Palace. Their smiles, captured in countless photographs, spoke of a future filled with hope and promise. It was a picture-perfect ending to a day that had been nothing short of magical.
But as the confetti settled, the reality of their new life began to dawn. The cheers of the crowd faded, replaced by the quiet whispers of responsibility and duty. The fairy tale, it seemed, was just the beginning of a much more complex story, and the carriages rolled away, carrying the couple into a future that was as uncertain as it was promising. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges and triumphs, moments of joy and sorrow as they navigated the complexities of royal life. Reality began to set in. The weight of their roles, the expectations of a nation, and the scrutiny of the world would soon become apparent. The smiles of their wedding day would be tested by the pressures of their new life. The weight of the crown, a symbol of authority and responsibility, would rest heavily on their shoulders. It was a reminder of the duty they had to their country and their people, a duty that would often come at a personal cost. The relentless scrutiny of the press, always eager for a story, would become a constant presence in their lives. Every move, every gesture would be analyzed and reported, leaving little room for privacy or respite, and the immense pressure to live up to the fairy tale they had created would soon take their toll. The world had seen the magic of their wedding day, but the reality of their marriage would be far more complex. It was a story of love and duty, of dreams and challenges, a royal journey that would captivate the world for years to come. Section 4, from hospital steps to polo matches, glimpses of a royal romance. Despite the challenges, there were glimpses of genuine affection between Charles and Diana, especially in the early years of their marriage.
The births of their sons, William and Harry, in 1982 and 1984 respectively, were moments of pure joy captured in heartwarming photographs.
Diana was a natural mother, showering her sons with love and breaking royal tradition by taking an active role in their upbringing.
Charles, though sometimes seen as distant, clearly adored his sons and found solace in their joyful company.
Public appearances often showed the couple sharing a laugh, a knowing glance, or a tender touch.
Diana's playful spirit seemed to rub off on Charles, and he, in turn, seemed to ground her with his presence.
Section 5, Shadows in Paradise. The rumors begin. However, behind the carefully curated image of a happy royal family, whispers of discontent began to surface.
The press, always hungry for a story, pounced on any sign of trouble in paradise.
Rumors of infidelity, particularly Charles' continued relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, cast a long shadow over the marriage.
Diana, struggling to find her place within the rigid confines of royal life, seemed increasingly unhappy.
The pressure to maintain the facade of a perfect marriage while grappling with very real and very public marital problems took a toll on both Charles and Diana.
The fairy tale, it seemed, was slowly crumbling.